This is the Sports Hit List by the fans for the fans.
Carl Coulons with another edition of the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. I'm joined with the one and only TK the Tank, Tom Kennedy. We are officially on the road to WrestleMania. TK, how excited are you?
I'm super excited. Things have been really been going, I think, very well this WrestleMania season. Really interesting. Really throwing some curveballs. You know, Monday Night Raw is must see again. It's been awesome.
So let's start off the rip. I guess the best place for us to start would be Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. We're coming off of Monday Night Raw where Roman returns. Now he's your tribal chief. I don't know how many more letters they're going to give him. It was interesting how the dynamic of how they entered him into the storyline between Punk and Seth. We kind of knew coming off the Rumble, this is what we were going to get, right? Because of the way Roman got eliminated and then all three of them were interacting. So we kind of knew, like, I think you and I discussed it. But then Roman grabs Seth from the cage and you didn't even see his face. You kind of knew because you heard the crowd if you're watching it from home.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I think for me, what was really storytelling, like clearly he beat up Seth, he gave him the curb stomp. But when he turned around and saw Paul Heyman holding Punk, I thought that was well executed. I didn't know how they were going to enter the beef between Punk and Roman. But it felt like, and you know, at Suffolk, we're in the process of coming up with a new club called Suffolk Wrestling Federation. And so we were talking about yesterday, it felt like Roman saw, you know, I guess his ex-girlfriend with somebody else, or he saw his girlfriend cheating with someone, and he just went crazy. What are your thoughts behind that?
Yeah, no, I think, first of all, let me just throw it out to, the WWE production team, with the whole Cody turn, the Cena turn against Cody, just the filming, the angles they've been able to catch, the emotions they've been able to catch. They haven't really missed a beat. It's been great. So you saw, Heyman in the back with Punk and Roman get upset. And then that is what it felt like because, Roman knows that Punk was the original Paul Heyman guy. Punk was the guy that kind of coined that phrase during his pipe bomb. I'm a Paul Heyman guy. And Paul Heyman has had, he's had other guys under his wing. He's had Punk, he's had Cesaro, he's had Kurt Saxel. But since 2020, it's been Roman and Roman alone, and that's Roman's wise man. So in Roman's eyes, seeing Paul Heyman kind of go and tend to Punk instead of tend to business, I could see Roman Reigns not letting that stand because even though Roman Reigns is beloved by the fans now and he is a fan favorite, he's still a little bit of a tweener. He's not coming out and being the big dog Roman, the smiles Roman guy. He's still the tribal chief, and he's going to make sure he puts his business first. And to me, this is all building up for a three-way dance, a triple threat at WrestleMania. Something before Monday night, I really wasn't so excited for, but now, like with the way that Rollins and Punk have been on site, and now you throw Reigns into this mix, I'm really interested to see where it could go, because with such a stacked card for WrestleMania coming up with all these different storylines intertwining, it's cool to see what they could do with this and how they could use Paul Heyman as kind of a focal point for this, and the way they could tie in everything together. The Shield, Seth Rollins was one that broke that up. Roman Reigns might have lost the match at WrestleMania for focusing on Seth Rollins last year. Now you got CM Punk getting into it, and CM Punk is owed a favor from Paul Heyman. So all this stuff is starting to kind of brew together in the pot, so to speak, and I think it's going to culminate at WrestleMania and actually be one hell of a match.
Hold on, hold that thought for 1 second, TK. I have to excuse me for 1 second.
Sure.
I'm going to pause this. Give me one. Okay. So your last thought I thought was really interesting, and I also talked about the Shield dynamic. Do you see in this match? Clearly, we're getting it at WrestleMania. Could we see a Shield moment for a split second? Now, because they have so much hatred for each other, I think their hatred for each other is more so than Punk. But then could we see it play out in the match where we get a Shield bomb, where they, for a split second, they do it and then they go back to hating each other, or they tease it and then they just don't even do it? Because could you imagine the reaction of the crowd if we get them to have the Shield moment? But then it's even better if they tease it and then they're just like, "No, we're not going to do it." But I don't know what you do there.
Well, I mean, I think either way, I think either could happen. I could actually see them kind of pulling together for a second in a match, as what happens with triple threat matches. You have strange alliances. with CM Punk being their opponent, because CM Punk is the kind of guy that can really get under anyone's skin. So if they're going to team up to kind of get anyone, I can see it being CM Punk. You know, it wouldn't make as much sense if it was, you know, Rey Mysterio or a really beloved babyface, something like that. But a CM Punk, a guy who's, you know, always trying to rub dirt in your eye, I can see them kind of getting together and maybe doing, you know, a 2/3 Shield powerbomb through the announce table. I could totally see that spot happening. And you know what? Here's a call out to our friends at AEW. John Moxley, if you want to come back to the Real Pro Wrestling organization and come back as Dean Ambrose, you're always welcome back. I've seen what you've been doing there, and I think you could use a change of scenery.
Apparently, he did this past weekend. He did the curb stomp, so all three of them did it.
Yeah, he
the last weekend.
Down in his heart, he misses. He wants to come home.
Some people have kind of thought that this feud is kind of just thrown together last minute, or because they don't have anything for them to do. What are your thoughts there? Is this something that's thrown together, or is it really one worth for us to see being played out?
Well, I mean, to me, it's a little bit of both. I kind of expected, if you would have asked me back in December, I would have thought it would be CM Punk versus Gunther at WrestleMania. I thought that would be the direction they were going, and they ended up pulling the trigger on Jay, which I think is a great choice, because you look at Jay coming out of Madison Square Garden. They say if you can get over in New York City, you can be over anywhere, and if that's any indication, Jay Uso is over and he's ready for this moment. Which, you know, I'm a little bit more positive about than some other people. But so I think this is kind of what's best for business right now. Getting these three names in a match together makes it a marquee match. It's not for a title, but they do have the history there between all three competitors to get this kind of blood feud, to get the intensity really up in this match. And even though it is a little weird that it's a triple threat, because usually when you think blood feud, you don't think triple threat. If there's anyone that can make it work, it's Paul Levesque in 2025. The man, he's been turning things into gold lately. He's got everyone kind of back on the bandwagon, back here, kind of believing in the system, trusting in the process. Where a couple of years ago, when it was Vince in charge, I would have said, I have no idea what they're doing, you know? Right. So it's I'm excited about it. I fully trust the process right now. And it's amazing to kind of just be able to sit back and watch and not get, you know, frustrated every 5 minutes.
Thanks for watching the Sports Hit List. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. In fact, do it now.